Hi guys! Today we have this beautiful message of abundance, and it's being guided by the Five of Spring card. And this card is in the suit of Wands or Fire for most decks. And it's really reminding us that there is enough to go around. We just need to focus our energy. So if you feel like lack mentality is slipping in, this is your reminder, right? That there is enough for everybody. And lack mentality is really something that has less to do with the amount of resources there are, and it has more to do with self-worth. Because when we don't believe in abundance, what we tend to do is we tend to tell ourselves that we are not deserving to go after whatever it is we're trying to create in our life. So whether that's, relationships, friendships, community, money, of course, when we talk about abundance, money, right? Time, any kind of resource that you're trying to manifest, when you can recognize that there is enough to go around, that is really the key to allowing yourself to feel worthy to even go after it. And this is really telling us over here, right? Not to be in competition. Not to be in competition with others, not to be in competition with ourselves. Maybe just the idea of competition altogether is what makes you sit out, because maybe you're not a competitive person at all. Sometimes, I'm not a competitive person, and as soon as I see something looks like a competition, then I'll just be like, all right, I'm out. I'm not even, I don't want to fight. I'll just sit this one out. Well, if you sit something out, right, then you're definitely not in the game to receive. So this is really getting out of this competitive spirit. In this card, you can see that these fairies are literally fighting over this one hyacinth when there's literally an entire field behind them. So they're fighting over this one, and they've got their backs turned, but they could literally just be dancing in a field of so many, right? There's so many behind them that they could, instead of being in competition with one another, they could even, they could be just, they could each be surrounded by so many that they could be completely unaware of one another, right? There is enough to go around. Now the Five of Wands, or the Five of Spring, it also introduces this energy of being scattered. So it talks about being the kind of person who is doing so much that you kind of feel like you're not achieving anything, right? Because you lack focus. So if you get to the end of the day and you feel like you've been really busy, if you're the kind of person who ends the day and you've just been busy, it feels like it's nonstop, you're just tired, you're exhausted, you can't wait to go to bed, but you kind of look around and you think, what have I even achieved today? What have I done? Right? Then this is really asking you to bring focus into your day, to find what it is you're doing through the day that can fall away. Where are there traps in your day that are just stealing time from you? So if you can get rid of some tasks so that you can focus on others, right? Zoom out, recenter, and take a moment to think about what it is you're really trying to achieve. What is it that you really want? And then if you went through the day and you saw how you spent your day, like each part of your day, like, does that service what it is you're really trying to achieve? If it does, keep it. If it doesn't, find a way to either take it out of your routine. If it's something that you really can't take out of your routine because there's a true obligation to it, then really try to find ways to streamline that process so that it's not taking so much time. Because when you can focus your energy, right? Like maybe the reason you're not seeing this abundance that you're trying to manifest yet is just because you haven't actually focused your energy into creating it, right? Because if you're scattered all over the place, how can you manifest anything? Because you're just trying to, being scattered is more about just trying to survive. So you're kind of in this base level fight or flight mentality. You need to get higher up, on Maslow's triangle to really start doing things that feed yourself, feed your soul, on a more soul level of creating like inner happiness and inner solitude. And I know sometimes in life, we really just are in this position of trying to get by, and there's no shame in that. But irregardless, we're all trying to work our way up, right? We're trying to climb higher. So as we climb higher, we need to let some things go. Now, what's coming to mind for me is this idea that oftentimes when we're trying to get through the day, we might do what's quicker in the moment, even if we know it's not quicker long term, right? So for example, I used to work in a job where I would make these spreadsheets, and these spreadsheets would take a lot of my personal time to make. And I used to have a boss that would come up and stand over my shoulder, and he'd be like asking me for a number for some sales figure or something. And I would be like, oh, you'll just have to wait until I'm finished making the spreadsheet. And he'd be like really annoyed with me because he'd want the answer like really instantly and now, and be like, come on, why don't you have it yet? And it was because I was really, against knowing that I might be doing double work, right? So if he was asking me to do something, to give him a number that I knew he was going to probably ask me for that again tomorrow, and that whatever work I'm doing today to get that quick answer, I'm going to have to do that again tomorrow to get the quick answer, and I'm going to have to do that again tomorrow to get the quick answer. But let's say the quick answer still took like half an hour of my time to pull together. Let's say the spreadsheet literally takes me the entire day to pull together. But if I'm given the time to make the spreadsheet, right? Now that's taking me the whole day. But tomorrow, when I'm asked for that sales figure, I can pull up the spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet automatically updates, and the answer's in a second. It's just there because it's pulled everything in that it needs to from the system. All the answers are there. It didn't take me half an hour like it normally would. It did take me a whole day. But now cumulatively over the month, it saved me time. And then cumulatively over the year, do you know what I mean? Like now it's become like free time, because that original full day, maybe it's worked out to like minutes a day over the full year, whereas it would take me half an hour each time to pull it manually and like add up the numbers manually. There's a plane going overhead. I don't know if the microphone is picking that up. So trying to get back on track, what I'm trying to say is, this card to me is also bringing in this energy of allowing yourself to be scattered, because you're constantly just doing whatever's easiest right now, but you're not taking the time to pause and invest in the future, right? Another example could be if you're rushing to get out the door and your child is like trying to get on their shoes and they're like fumbling with their shoes, so you bend down quickly and you like put them on for them and you tie up their shoes and then you go out the door, right? And you just keep doing this every day, and it only takes up like, let's say, an extra 5 minutes of your time each time. It should be quicker to put on shoes, but if you've ever tried to put shoes on a child, you'll know that it could take 5 minutes of your time. But you could also invest in your future, right? Teach them how to put their shoes on themselves. Like, pause and take the time. And then in the future, right, when you're trying to get out the door, not immediately, but eventually they will be putting on their shoes themselves, and you're not doing it, right? Sometimes our energy is scattered because we've got so much of a control issue, and just doing it ourselves now in the moment, because it feels easier to do it that way, that we're not investing in our future, that we're not handing things off as they should be handed off, as appropriate, right? So this is focusing your energy. And when you focus your energy, you can really put yourself into alignment with abundance. Any lack mentality that's sneaking in, let it wash away, right? Really relax into it. Do your best not to feel competitive with others, because introducing the energy of competition will blind you to the abundance that exists around you. And actually, oftentimes when we find ourselves in competition, we actually can get so blinded by competition that we might go off track, because we're just so busy competing that we don't even realize that actually we were going that way and they're going that way. But because I allowed myself to feel like I was in competition, I was just trying to win, right? So staying really true to the course you're on, to what sings to your soul, not being distracted, investing in your future, taking the time now to invest in your future, however that might be in your life, because we all have different backgrounds and things that are, you know, tugging on our time on a daily basis. We come from all walks of life. So I could be here giving examples all day. You've got to think of how it applies to you. But really, overall, the message is just that there is enough. So if you feel like you've been faltering in creating something lately, right? If you've let yourself in these past few weeks be excited to create, and you've kind of hit a spot now where you feel like, ooh, can I do it? Yes, you can, right? Because abundance doesn't stop. It always exists around us. We just have to be open to that flow. You just have to relax into it. I'll be honest, it's really funny. It's a really straightforward message, but my mind is feeling quite honestly, my mind is feeling quite foggy and confused, as if like I need to like work on this clarity as well. Maybe that's just the messaging, because obviously like I am the collective. I am part of it. Of course I am. So that's just interesting to reflect on, because even though I feel like I've given the message, I also feel like my own brain feels so foggy that I'm kind of going in circles. So yeah, just sharing, being honest. I am going to end it here because I actually think I've said this message multiple times now. And I think the circling is more reflective of me needing to create focus in my own scattering so that I can relax into this abundance. Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed the message. I hope you guys can all take some time to reflect, figure out what it is you can let fall away so that you can refocus your energies, center, get back on track, and relax into abundance. Bye, guys.